welcome to Whispers of Truth. I'm Belle, and I'm here to talk to you today with another manifesting series edition. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about emotions. I did touch briefly on it before I ended the last video about it being healthy and releasing those emotions as they come up. I just want you to know that when things come up, it's because you need to deal with them. People who excuse me, I got tongue-tied. When you don't deal or address with things that come up, so let's say an emotion that you recognize, it's a trigger or something that happens that seems to be something that reminds you of childhood or whatever it is. And it dates back to, how many times that this has happened or whatnot. And there's this trauma, this emotion that needs to be healed. Something in there needs to be healed. So when that comes up, it's coming up for you to heal it so that you can release it, move on, and not have to keep feeling the pain or continuing to attract the similar situation. So when those things come up, you need to talk to yourself, your inner self, your subconscious, whatever you want to call it. Just talk to yourself as if you're talking to your best friend, your child, someone else's child, your niece, your nephew, somebody that you love. Imagine that you're talking to somebody that you love very deeply and you don't want them to feel any pain, and you want them to understand that whatever happened wasn't their fault. And if it was their fault, they are forgiven and that they should forgive themselves. Whatever it is that you need to heal, you need to talk to yourself as if you're talking to someone you love and say the right things that need to be said. And you'll know that you've said enough and that you've said the right thing when you feel a pressure release off your shoulders or somewhere on your body. You'll feel something release and you'll either take a breath or you'll have a sigh and you'll be like, finally you can release it. So release it and let it go. Love yourself. Now, I did mention previously on the last video as well about self-love and why it's important. So I want to go down that road a little bit. So when we are children and we're programming ourselves and others are helping to program us, the reason why I say we're programming ourselves is because we tell ourselves stories. Let's say, I've heard this example before, I think it was Dispenza that says it, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think he says, if, let's say as a little kid, you want to play with your parent and you want to play ball or something, and so you're bugging your parent and they're trying to work. They work from home, let's say, and you're bugging them and they're in their office and they're trying to work and they keep telling you, not now, I'll play with you later. And later never comes. And so they keep pushing off, and then finally it's bedtime and they're like, sorry, I'm too tired, go tuck yourself in tonight. And maybe they don't even cook you dinner. I don't know. But the point is you get to this low point where you start telling yourself stories like, oh, they don't love me, or oh, I'm not important enough, or maybe I just don't matter, maybe, and you just start going on and you start creating all these things in your head because you start feeling really bad because you feel rejected, right? So we all get to that point. We all feel that way many times throughout our lives for many reasons, by many people. But the stories we tell ourselves is what we program ourselves. That's what we put into our subconscious, and that's what keeps vibrating. So if you had an issue when you were a kid that came up, and maybe it was a small little thing that happened, but because you told yourself a story, well, guess what? That energy of that story grew because you continued to see evidence of it because you told yourself that story. Now it exists, and now it's an entity type thing all by itself. Maybe not an entity, but you know what I mean. It's its own separate little thing. And so it starts vibrating. And the more it vibrates, the more years it keeps getting fed. The bigger it gets. It's a little ball of energy just vibrating away. And it's attracting. And the more it attracts, the more evidence it gains, and the more proof it has to feed your belief of whatever it is that you told yourself way back when. You're not good enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not pretty enough, your hair's not thick enough, maybe you don't look young enough, maybe your parents were deadbeats and so you think you're a deadbeat too, or whatever it is. I'm not judging. The point is we all tell ourselves these stories. Nobody likes me, nobody's nice to me, I can never make enough money to pay the bills, or whatever it is. Whatever your beliefs are, maybe you think you don't deserve something. Maybe you don't think you deserve to be rich, or maybe you think that all people who have money are evil, or that they had to strike a deal with the devil in order to get fame and fortune. Whatever it is, whatever your belief, that's what's controlling what you're getting. So if you're over there crying, you never get anything you want, well, guess what? It's because your subconscious is driving. It's got that train, and it is just trucking away, and it is driving itself. It's on autopilot, and it doesn't even need your opinion or your input. So in order to stop that train from continuing to run the rest of your damn life, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of whatever it is, you keep getting and keep getting and keep getting. Different faces, different places, but it's all the same story, right? It's all the same. It just changes a little bit. The narrative changes a little bit, but the vibration, the bullshit, it's all the same. So if you're ready to change it, start working on self-love. You have to go down that trail. Forgive yourself. Heal yourself. Figure it out what it is you need. Maybe you just need a lot of freaking rest. Maybe you don't give yourself enough rest. You don't give yourself enough time to rest. You don't think it's okay to rest. Maybe you were raised by a parent who said, you have to do a million trillion things to exceed, everybody's expectations and blah, 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 be a people pleaser. And so you say yes to everything. Well, start saying no and start going to bed more. Enjoy what you want to do. If you want to go watch movies and relax, go watch movies and relax. You want to read a book, you want to put your feet up, you want to take a bubble bath, whatever it is, you want a new hobby, if it's whatever self-love to you means. Obviously I'm not saying go be some perverted person that's, masturbating up in the mountains and, going and renting rooms so that you can squirt all over the place. I've known people like that, and I told them too, it's not healthy. Let's be healthy here. Okay, so I don't think I need to tell you that, what's healthy and what's not healthy. Hopefully you know what's healthy and what's not healthy. But in order to raise your vibration so that you can manifest the best things that you want out of life, whatever those may be, then I suggest you raise your vibration and you get your head out of the gutter and start getting in line with what you want. So, and by getting into alignment, okay, so here's the surprise that I had for you guys, okay? So, here's a little story that goes with my little surprise that I'm going to share with you today. So, basically, while I was working on raising my vibrations, this was about a year ago or so, I was working on raising my vibrations. Well, actually, it was more months before that, leading up to that year. So basically I kept working on it. I was purging my thoughts of negative thoughts. I wasn't telling stories about the crap that I was going through. So if there was any kind of abuse or somebody did me wrong, whatever it was, I wasn't telling the story. I wasn't sharing it. I wasn't posting on Facebook. I wasn't ranting. I wasn't raving. I wasn't telling anybody anything. I was keeping my mouth shut, and I was trying to stop all the negative energy. And so by doing so, my vibration kept getting higher and higher, and it was getting really, really easy to manifest. So that's how I learned I was actually manifesting good stuff and bad stuff, because it was like super quick that I could manifest something bad, and it was super quick that I could manifest something good. So I was like, oh shit, pardon my language. All right, so I got to where I was manifesting like anything and everything all the time, and it was kind of scary, but it was definitely a learning experience. And so I was really excited and whatnot, but at the same time, I took myself way down. So I wound up where I did a tarot reading, and I was talking to the angels, and I was asking them. I could feel that they were there with me. There was quite a few of them there. And I was asking them, okay, well, these are the things I really want, because I saw a tarot video on YouTube. It was a general reading. I'm a Libra, and I saw a general reading by the Autistic Mystic. I love him. He's great. Hi, if you're watching. But he ended up asking this question, and ever since he asked that question, I have really, really been taking a hard look at everything I do all the time, and it helps steer me back on course when I'm going off course. And the question was, if you died right now, you're dead, boom, you're dead. You've got no time to change anything, no time to do anything. It's over. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, right? Okay. What would it be? What would you be? What would you most regret? What would your biggest regret be not doing or not changing? And for me, when I was asked that question, I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, you get to the pearly gates, and like, if you believe in God, like I do, like, I pictured myself getting up there and God saying, well, why didn't you do such and such? And, you know, you were given this power and you were given these abilities to be able to do so many different things, and you didn't do any of it. And I was shown signs, like different things came out throughout my life. Different magical abilities have shown themselves sporadically, randomly, whatever you want to call it, throughout my life. And I just kept on trucking, like, well, no big deal. You know, it's normal to levitate 3 feet off the ground several times in a row. And I didn't think much about it. I kept on going, and then something else, and something else, and something else. And I'm like, no big deal. So anyway, here we are now. It was 11:11 just now on the timer for the video. So anyway, so I realized if I had gotten to heaven right then and there, I would be so embarrassed, so ashamed of myself if God had asked me, you know, like, why didn't you do anything with these abilities? So long story short, there was the question, and so I decided, okay, well, here's the things, the 3 biggest things, you know, that I wanted different. And so I wrote them down, and so I did, I think I did 3 different decks, and then it boiled down to, okay, well, the angels were basically telling me, yes, I can attain this within such amount of time, this I can attain, this I can attain, but I had to work on certain things. And so one of the biggest things in all 3 was my chakras and getting into alignment with what I want. And so I was like, oh, I know that sweet spot. There's a sweet spot, and we've all felt it, but you may not have noticed it. There's a sweet spot when it comes to manifesting and to align into alignment with what it is you want. So I'm not trying to complicate things or confuse things or anything, but when you feel that sweet spot, you can feel that you're in alignment with your gut, your heart chakra, your mind, your thoughts, and the universe, like your soul. You can feel it. There's just this, it's like when you do a combination lock and you get to the right number and it clicks. That's the click you're looking for. Excuse me. I've been spring cleaning, so I've got a little bit of allergies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this video here, but I'm going to continue on with the next segment. It will have all the things that I was given to meditate on for each of my chakras. And for those chakras to be at their optimal manifesting capabilities. And we are talking for health, wealth, and magical abilities. So I don't know if you want to consider that manifesting abilities, but for me, it was magic is definitely different than manifesting. Because, I mean, levitating, I mean, come on, that's a little magical. So anyway, I don't know. I haven't done it again since I did it, but I've come really close. Anyway, there's a lot of things that we're capable of doing, and we just don't realize it. So that's why I'm saying let's go down this journey together. Let's raise our vibrations, and then we will work on channeling these energies into our chakras. Preferably when you do it during your detox bath and with a little bit of meditation music of your choosing in the background, with some candles, maybe light some sage, and get some crystals going. Not crystals that you use for absolutely everything that's all polluted and with dirty energies. Definitely choose some new or cleanse your crystals. If you work with crystals, then you know what I'm talking about. The surprise story, really quick before I switch over to the next video and share these meditations, the energies, what you need to channel into your chakras. Before I share that, I want to tell you the thing that I created This was the story that came with the rest of the story I started earlier. Anyway, so I got to this point where I was meditating and I was cleansing everything. And then finally I had asked these questions and I got to this, I have a chakra zodiac healing oracle deck. It's a oracle deck. That's what it's called. Similar to tarot cards, but it's oracle, so it's based on your chakras, and almost every single card I think is about your chakras, so it tells you different things about your chakras. So I used that deck in conjunction with the questions and the other decks that I used, asking my other questions about what I wanted to manifest and create, and if it was possible, and how do I go about it. And so the cards that came up is what I'm going to be sharing with you for you to be able to channel those energies into your chakras. But let me tell you what happened after the first time I did this meditation, and I channeled these energies. So granted, my vibrations were pretty high. I had jumped from job to job quite a bit because I was delaying getting back into real estate because of what I had gone through, what I put myself through, because normally I do real estate, investments, and every other aspect. I'll give you that story later, another video. But anyway, I wound up where I was a little gun shy to get back into real estate just yet, and so I was trying all kinds of different types of fields and careers, and I was all over the place. And so but I was happy, and so I wound up going to work as a bartender for a little while, even though I'm not a bartender and I have no bartending experience except for at home mixing. And so it wasn't a typical type of bar. It was more of a casino with regular simple drinks. And so I got hired and I got to work. So as I was discovering more things about detoxing and stuff, and I did the meditation, I decided that day when I was doing my detox bath and I started working on my channeling, I wound up deciding I wanted everybody at the casino to win, because when I wish money for myself, I feel kind of weird, I feel kind of greedy or selfish, and I think there's abundance in the world and there's an unlimited amount of money. I mean, gosh, they can just print more, right? And so I was like, well, every time I manifest money, I think of it not just for me, but for everybody. And so I was picturing everybody at the bar winning. And lo and behold, that night and every night after that, more and more and more and more and more people kept hitting jackpots. More and more and more people kept winning. Decently large amounts. And we're talking anywhere from $60 on up into, I think one gal probably walked out with about 25 grand or so. And some of them, snuck out without telling me some of the amounts that they won. And because, they don't like to tip sometimes. Other times they get fearful or whatever. They don't want people to know their business. But anyway, yeah. So it worked. The reason why, one of the reasons, the number one reason I keep saying raise your frequency and do a detox bath and work on your chakras is because it works. It worked for me. It worked really, really fast, and it worked really, really well. So I will go ahead and I will grab those cards so that I can show them to you, and I will go through this little list of meditation on what to channel into. I'm not going to do the meditation, but I'm going to tell you what to channel into each chakra so that you can go ahead and channel those energies next time you get a chance to take a bubble bath. All right, I'll talk to you later. Be back in a flash. Bye. Ciao.